Hello everybody. This video, I wanted to try something with Abomination because it's just a unit that, like, sure, I've experimented a decent bit with it, but it feels like it has so much potential. It's, like, difficult to set something up with it, but it feels like there's gotta be some unexplored territory, with it. This isn't particularly, like, an amazingly interesting build with it. It's just kind of taking an existing, very popular, very ancient combo and just making it objectively worse for the funny. But I'm just thinking there's got to be something else with this unit. Especially, there was a brief period where I believe the Abomination was bugged, and, like, if you had one ability type trigger, it would trigger every ability that happened. So say if you had an II that summoned lemurs, then you could have something else that triggered, and that trigger would make more lemurs summon. So I tried that, but that's since been fixed, which is good, but of course it means that I don't get to do the cool build. But even then, it still feels like there's something about this unit that we haven't discovered yet. It would be cool for me to be the one to do it, but I don't think realistically that's gonna happen. Just because I right now I'm not dedicating the most amount of time in the world to SAP, especially not SAP like Arena. The new season of Team Tour starting up fairly soon. There's an off season that I'm playing, and then there's also other projects that I'm just working on, and like also, you know, stuff in my personal life as well. Like there's a lot going on, and I'm just not gonna be able to spend that much time on specifically SAP, specifically looking at every interaction of this unit. But from what I know, Fritz has been messing around with stuff like that, as he usually does. So anyway, what are we doing here? We have Cuckoo. We have Skeleton Dogs. I have been, like, having Skeleton Dog in basically every pack recently. Sorry, I'm very tired as I'm recording this. I woke up at 7 AM, which is, like, probably normal for a lot of people, but I am a pretty big night owl, but I've had to be waking up a lot earlier recently. But anyway, what was I even talking about, man? What is this commentary? But look, we have Elephant, that's part of it. We have Cuckoo as well, which I don't see anybody running in these, like, Elephant teams, because people seem to love to spam the same Elephant Blowfish team over and over, but they won't run Cuckoo, which is just, like, a blatantly good unit in this type of build. Just very underrated in general. There's a lot you can do with it. Here's the Abomination. And I'm taking this Gelada because it's efficient and not really for any other reason. I'd rather have the stats first and then have the XP second, because the stats are a bit more tempo. And, like, right now we're not particularly doing anything, so I guess this Abomination's just eating another Cuckoo. Which isn't particularly great when our whole board is weakened, but it's fine here. This lettuce is pretty good value as it stands. We don't really care about the stats on Flounder, but having it on 2 other units is good. So here's the level 2 Abomination. We're freezing the Trike and unfreezing it, because I don't want any, like, actual hurt pets on this board, really. I want everything to come out of just whatever decides to go in Abomination. And of course, because that changes every round, it makes for a version of Elephant Blowfish or Elephant, whatever herd pet you like, that's just blatantly way more inconsistent. But it is very fun to run. Take Flashlight. I take Quetzalcoatl as well. I've just been getting good stats out of Skeleton Dog. I don't exactly want to keep it forever, but I would be fine having it go to level 3. It just so happens that Abomination eats an Iala. The other one doesn't particularly matter. And that Iala is actually super relevant here. I think we would have gotten a draw otherwise. But now here's the game plan. We do eventually want to get out of some of these units. We don't want Skeleton Dog and Quetzalcoatl on our final board. But right now, we can just look for herd pets. And yes, that includes Geometric Tortoise, which is very silly. So now the Abomination will eat these two. And give us 2 herd pets. Neither of which is typical for elephant. You usually see Blowfish or camel. Triceratops is a bit less common, but you do still see it sometimes, and you basically never see elephant Geometric Tortoise because that feels silly. But anyway, here's a just full summon squad, which we do really well against, even though the snipes are incredibly small because, well, they have no stats anyway. And then here actually we kill the Abomination and start killing our own Skeleton Dog. We just about have enough to tie against the Giant Shark. Oh my god. Game? Okay, we're fine. So I'm still holding on to this camel. I'm chocolating the elephant because the next Quetzalcoatl hit will get its level 3. And I also want a Margosaurus. Because the Margosaurus is very good at helping with just one big unit, and the longer you keep the elephant alive, the better shot you have at getting more attacks off. In this case, the only relevant hit is that we have Camel in the Abomination, which isn't as good. But it's still fine, just about to get a draw. And so, cycle out the television because we know we're always going to be able to get it. Keep rolling for another herd pet. And there's 2. At a certain point, there's very little we're looking for in the pet shop, except for just more herd pets to feed the Abomination constantly. Which is way more work than if there was just like a Triceratops on board to begin with. But you know what? It's more fun this way. So the Abomination is basically a level 1 Triceratops and a level 1 Camel at the same time. Which is pretty damn satisfying, especially with the Amargasaurus just bringing all of the health back. It's very satisfying. And once you get the build set up, it's pretty strong as well. The issue is just that it takes a while to do that properly. And sometimes you just can't do it properly. But look, here we have Triceratops and Piranha, which is about as good as you can hope for. Here's a very terrifying team with almost a maxed out Warthog, level 3 Flea, and like a tree, which gains Coconut. But just look at how satisfying this is. I love the just waves of attack that you get out of Piranha. And seeing another ability go off as well. Here the Cuckoo is kind of bad because we have weakness on the Abomination, but actually it's fine because we got value out of Amargasaurus to keep it alive. We still just barely lose by a 1 HP breakpoint, but it's not that bad. We get a TV this turn, and we get another one guaranteed. And once again, we're still just really looking for the herd pets. White ochre is really nice on elephants. But okay, here's our herd pets. We have piranha blowfish this time around. Because why not? Let's change it up a little. And here is the same shark guy again, I'm now realizing. With just a lot of half levels on things. But look at how satisfying this is. You have stats flying on our team and also snipes flying on their team at the same time. And after all of it happens, you get a bunch of like small health restorations on the Amargasaurus, which is really fun to look at. And yeah, we win this pretty comfortably. If there was no attack cap, I wonder how much of attack we would have gotten there. Here's Tiger. So, Tiger Abomination is a pretty weird one. Tiger says the friend ahead repeats their ability in battle as if they were level 1. But Tiger only copies the first thing that gets swallowed by Abomination. So here, it's copying the camel at level 1, but not the cuckoo that's in the Abomination. And I guess that makes sense because, like, if you just had Tiger copy every single Abomination ability, it would be way too strong. Like, you have a level 3 Abomination with 3 good pets, and then if the Tiger's also level 3, you can get a level 3 version of every single one of those abilities. That would probably be too broken and lead to some infinites as well with Pink Robin. But there you go. This is why I kind of think that, like, if there's any pet that needs a rework in this game, it's Abomination. Like, the current one is really fun, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's going to be so many issues with it. Like, where, oh, they've added a new batch of pets, but actually this interaction with Abomination is just an infinite. Or it's like, well, Abomination Pink Robin exists, so you can get a bunch of abilities in one pet, and these specific ones give you infinite gold. And like I feel like there's always going to be something like that when something gets added to the game, but that's what they've chosen to go with for now. We'll see what happens with this guy in the future. So you see it's actually giving 6 attack, which means the camel is going off 6 times. Which is 3 times, and it's being multiplied by 2 with the Tiger. It's actually a draw by 1 HP, and we kill her on Abomination again, despite it having 20 health. I guess weirdly I should have prioritized putting more health on the Abomination, even though I didn't feel like it needed it. Here's just a bunch more hurt pets, as I take chicken leg, because, I mean, our shop is very frozen right now. So anyway, here's camel and geometric tortoise again. There's also against Yogru, the vulture guy who has moved on to being the long-comb sawfish guy. Potentially. But look at this. So we actually get 4 snipes because of the snake. 1, 2, if you count the rocks. 3, 4, and then it's ended. Which is accurate with as if the tiger wasn't there. If the tiger was also copying the geometric tortoise, you would expect to see 8 snipes. But, I mean, we can run through this fight pretty quickly. Although, actually, I remember this fight being closer than I expected. The cuckoos actually block Yogurt's summons here. And we kill the turkey with our tiny snipes. Get a bunch of health back. There's also a tinderbox there. But like, we've even taken the lemon off of the long-arm sawfish. We actually kill the abomination again. This somehow just keeps happening. And now the elephant tiger is actually just killing the tiger at a rapid pace. And because there's one more summon, we still win, but we end up killing the tiger and start damaging the Amargasaurus behind as well. Very, very silly interaction. And even still, I put more health on the tiger. Why did I do that? I guess the world will never know. Mainly because I have no idea as I'm looking at it. But here is... we have Piranha Blowfish again. Grandma, only the Piranha gets copied. Here actually we lose off of Stinky Sock. And we only get one elephant attack. Which, I mean, it does give us a lot of attacks, but... yeah, the geometric tortoise is too strong there. Still though, we get level 2 Tiger and level 3 Amargasaurus all in this turn. And I get to buy another chicken leg, which I'm still not putting on the abomination, but there you go. And we get to eat Piranha and Blowfish again, so maybe this time it'll work out better. This looks like a terrifying, like, full stat board. There's for some reason an Orca instead of getting a... instead of a 36 orangutan, there's just an Orca at the back instead. But look at how satisfying this is. Because the Amargasaurus is able to bring back all of the health, and we get just some small snipes against their board. We've basically gotten all the value we can out of Amargasaurus already. It just gives a tiny bit of health back. But we also still have Cuckoo. And we were able to finally snipe the melon with our abomination hits. Everything is hit 50 attack ages ago, by the way. But we're still trying. Bless him, he's still trying to buff them as many times as he can. Even now, but yeah, the snipes at this point don't do all that much. But we do just have 50 attack on everything, so we're able to trade. And Cuckoo ends up with enough health to get the win. So that was my run. Abomination's such a weird unit, man. Like, there's bound to be so much cool stuff with it. And I know that Infected Player has done quite a lot of cool stuff with Abomination in general. But I just wonder what else is out there. Because there's so many, like, combinations that you could theoretically get. But there's not really a good way to make Abomination consistent unless you had, like, a weird setup with double Bloodhound. But anyway, that's about it for me. Have a wonderful day.